Okay, so dear Venerables and friends, today we discuss Sutta from the Samyutta Nikaya. I am here with Venerable Dhamma. I will be reading the English and the Pali, and the Venerable Dhamma will read the Sinhala translation. So to get started, this is Samyutta Nikaya, Sagata Wagga Samyutta, Devata Samyutta, Jaravaggo. And the sutta we discuss today is Dutiya Jana Sutta. Dutiya Jana Sutta. Sutta number 56.
Dutiya Jananti.
In my records it's called Dutiya Jana Sutta.
Yeah.
Anyways,
carry on.
Yes, it is translated by Bhikkhu Bodhi as produces or gives birth. And I will begin. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dutiya Jana Sutta. Kingsu janeti purisang. Kingsu tassa vidhavati. Kingsu sangsara mapadi. Kisma na parimuchyati iti. And the Buddha says, Tanha janeti purisang. Chittamassa vidhavati. Satto sangsara mapadi. Dukkha na parimuchyati iti. Okay, Dhammajiva will read the Sinhala.
කවරෙක් සත්වයා උපදවාද ඔහුගේ කිමෙක් ඔබමොබ දිවේද කවරෙක් සසරට පැමිණියේද කුමකින් නොමිදේද තෘෂ්ණාව සත්වයා උපදවයි ඔහුගේ සිත ඔබමොබ දිවේ සත්වයා සසරට පැමිණියේය දුකින් නොමිදේ.
And for the English translation, what is it that produces a person? What does he have that runs around? What enters upon samsara? From what is he not yet freed? And the Buddha responds, craving is what produces a person. His mind is what runs around. A being enters upon samsara, and he is not freed from suffering. That's the end of the sutta.
You know that we can think about already arisen being, or each and every moment a being is being produced. And the signal, the sign for a being is the mind is always moving. Whether body or words are not moving, never mind. The mind is moving. So that's a sign. The sign of satta. That's a sign that he got hooked up also. And never end up with suffering. So therefore we sometimes can think that already arisen satta, arisen being. And for that only medical science and all the science are worried about. And we worried about our relatives and other known people, because no one escaped from suffering. But still we have falsified compassion. Thinking about the others' well-being, leaving your own well-being, that is I call foolish compassion. That's what the people are always doing. So therefore, you have to consider whether you are a teacher or a disciple, or a doctor or a patient, both are in the same suffering. All are in the same boat. What the hell? How the hell one can say, I can save you from sickness. I can save you from ignorance. No. There's maybe some differences. But on total, they never escape suffering. And the sign is, their wound is samsara. The pus in the samsara is the mind. So always active. And if it is not there, you will go for medical assistance. If it's overactive, still you have to go. There's no medium or healthy action like. No one can define what the healthy action of mind. Because the decider is also unhealthy mind. This is the world we are living. So therefore, when the Rene Descartes, he mentioned, ergo cogito sum. I think, therefore I am. Every person understands I am because I think. If there is no personified thinking for some person, he is no more a being. He is no more in suffering. He is no more in samsara. He is no more creating a being. So that is what the most fearful thing on the earth. If there is no limitation called time dimension and the space dimension, you get lost. That's what the people are going behind these insurance corporations, medical insurance, life insurance, vehicle insurance, property insurance, because they want to have insurance. And these are the richest companies on the earth. They are always getting the premium. When an accident happens, that person gone, they never give compensation. They will try their best to see reason not to give compensation. But government imposed, you must have insurance. This is the agreement between the government and the insurance companies. But both are, all are in suffering. So we have nothing to curse them. They are already in the curse, just like us. Whether we are paying the premium or we are cursing them, whatever may be, the suffering is there. So therefore, for meditation, thinking is the poison. If you think, poison. Let the meditation to go. Of course, at the beginning, you have to use vitakka vichara, the direction or directed thoughts, and understand the differences. Vichara, discursive mind. So these are somewhat mental aspects. But slowly, they also become automotive. And they get habituation to directed into the breath, directed into the left leg, right leg. When it is happening automatically, you must be skillful not to get the mind involvement, remove the mind and let the effortless breathing, effortless walking, effortless eating, effortless brushing your teeth going to happen in the autopilot mode. And there you can see yourself. Things are happening, but there's no doer. He is doing because of habituation. Otherwise, we have enough bad habits for the non-meditators to keep yourselves occupied. They are worrying about the children, the properties, and the government, and the sky, and the sun, and the moon, a lot of things. But when you are in meditation, you can slowly understand, you focus into one particular materialistic object like in-breath and out-breath, air movements, and slowly it becomes intentional work to semi-intentional and ultimately unintentional or effortless. There the mental functions are really undergoing a revolution. But many people are not ready, not happy to accept this automotive function, and they think that is lack of mindfulness or lack of vigilance. So they are unwantedly exerting energies even in the advanced level of meditation also. That is basically happening for Buddhists. Because they know theory. Then they get mixed up. But if you are a newcomer, you can understand things are happening whether you are there or not. Whether you meditate or not, mindfulness is intact. Let the mindfulness to carry on, and therefore your egotism and your one-upmanship, instead you become very humble. Just like a beginning, the breathing happens, walking happens, eating happens, brushing teeth. All the things are happening, you are just observing. Specifically in a day-to-day work of a monastery, we have so much of work. All we consider as a duty to Buddha. We do it, but we gain nothing. But we do it like more than a duty to the king. And let it happen. So it says, according to Theravada, you have to practice it for 20 years, then only you become Maha Thero. Because everything happening. So that's the point. You can understand the mental work undergoing a change, and you are merging with the nature, merging with the law of the nature, and then very easy, least frictional. Quickly you can understand where to fit into. That you have to decide. And then no suffering and no satta, no authority. Things are happening just like it rains. Just like it rains. That's it. No author. Just last night also, there was almost to rain. And we were preparing the roof. Then 1 or 2 droplets happen. But no rain. So to whom to be blamed? No one. Even if it is rain, that's it. So if it is a government job, we would have found fault with the government. Or if it's a God, we can find fault with the God. But it rains. That's it. So that's the point where no thinking, no intention. So within a day, even though we are doing so much of things, many are happening without thinking. It is called power of thinking without thinking. Tuck, it happens. So it's very fast in children. Even the sick people, you can assume that it is not there, it is there. They have this power of thinking without thinking. And Daniel Kahneman, he has written, thinking fast and slow. When you are doing a job, quick thinking happens. We decide that this is to do. Then we have physics, this is this way, that way. We have to do this and that and this. It is slow thinking. It's a linear thinking. But immediately this is what to do. It is happening very fast. Power of thinking without thinking. But you have to communicate with others. Purpose is this. These are the raw materials. This is the way you have to do. This is very slow thinking. So this is human endowments. Human beings are full of wit. We are not slaves. We are kings. So therefore we have to do it. Thing happens, according to Buddha, thing happens when you are in a solitude. Not in a group. Group is a research crowd. But when you are in a thinking, silent thinking, in sitting or walking, all of them are happening. Ultimately you find this is a pre-planned thing rather than I am doing. So that's the way you are becoming, you are merging into the Taoism. You know Taoism? Singaporean? So that is what this the Devata is asking, Kingsu Janitu Purisam. Who is creating, who is parturating the Purisa person? Kingsu Tassa Vidhavati. Within the person created, what is the endlessly roaming around, running up and down. Kinsu Sansara Mapadi. Who is get hooked up with this sansaric journey? How does he get hooked up with the sansara? And whatever this intelligent design, still there is one mistake, one suffering, one thing. What is that? So Buddha says, craving is the creation of the sansa being, and mind is the roaming thing, whoever it may be, and you love that, your body and creation, everything. So you get hooked up with the samsara. Whatever it may be, you are not free of suffering. Everyone is in the field of suffering. So this is for all beings. So therefore this is not regarding the already born being, but each and every moment you create yourself. You create your egotism. So therefore, the moment you understand egotism, you are no more in dukkha, no more in the suffering. I think we are experiencing it in a partial way in some thought moments. We are not in suffering because we don't know where we are. Our meditation completely lost. No limits. We don't know whether sleep or not. So there you are not in the samsara, not in craving because it is boring, and then no suffering. So the partial nibbana is something we have to emphasize, not only to the preacher, even to the listener. Not only to the listener, even to the preacher, to understand you are in partial nibbana. So therefore, don't consider it as something impossible. We have done to a certain extent, increase it, multiply it. Okay, any ideas?
Yes, Swami Hanse. If I could pick one line that this Devata is asking, what does he have that runs around? And the Buddha, to that he says, it is the mind that runs around. Now, regarding this question and answer, when a yogi is approaching that transcendental part of mindfulness, and it is like the yogi even stops being mindful, and there is no one who is being mindful, and there are no objects that are being mindful of or being observed. This, it seems like a yogi may report that it seems like they even forget I-making. They forget to have an ego. And I think this is what you describe as they are partially tasting nibbana. They are going into the transcendental part of mindfulness that is not related to any of the senses, that is not related to anything in the world. Is this a sign of someone who is headed towards a noble attainment? Would you say so, Swami Nohanse?
That is true. There are some other shades which must be negated. That is, whenever things become undecisive, whenever things become unpredictable, people always search back the Buddhist books and say whether it is falling into the Four Noble Truths, whether it's falling into the dependent origination, whether depending what is the Eight Noble Path, whether it is going according with the mentality and physicality. Each time you catch samsara. That is what Venerable Jnanananda says, when the mind becomes undecisive, mind is ready to go, don't put theories. By theories, he says, sansara mapadi. He come to the sansara. Because he try to memorize and make it something explainable, theoretizing. Theoretizing Buddhism, through Buddhism is, instead of a Nibbana, that how the Obas is going to say, they select samsara and say, oh, that is what we call the Paticca Samuppada. That is what you call Four Noble Truths. That's what you call the Nama Rupa. So that each and every time, instead of entertaining I know theory, I am a Buddhist. So therefore they don't know that Buddhism become hindrance, so that theory become a hindrance, and he can't understand because of his egotism. This basic crime for Buddhists. For non-Buddhists, they don't know theory. This is something happened. Choicelessly they be aware rather than try to theorize it. Moment you theorize, ego comes, theory comes, and the Nibbana stops. Mind fabrication starts. Storytelling starts. So that means a sickness. But it is a universal sickness. You don't claim as this is my sickness. Sickness is a human sickness. That's what we are promoting by science, education, civilization, socialization, organization, everything. is going to systematize thinking, crime. Thinking itself is a cancer. It's a already contagious disease. But very difficult to communicate this idea because nowadays social media is so powerful. They are the people running more than the governments. Government within government. So they know how to manipulate. They know how to make use this thinking mind. When there is no thinking, the media can't reach. When we were in Nissarana, we decided one year not to open letters, don't accept any visitors, and emphasize more on meditation, at least 14 hours. It report in the meditation hall, or test it, and take only one meal, and that kind of a thing. So there, Venerable Jnanananda gave a talk. He told this thing we are doing by our own volunteering. No one can say us to not to open letters. No one can say us to stop visitors because it's a human rights. And some monks without knowing they say it's violating of the human right. They say, no, we are not asking. You can volunteer. Otherwise, get out. That's a simple message. Then the Venerable Jnanananda mentioned the letters and the SMS and the emails are poisonous arrows. Wherever you go in search of you and hit on your heart. Whatever the asceticism you have. So therefore you love letters, not the love letters. You love letters. Because it gives egotism, ego boost and messages. And they say it's a nuisance. But underneath you have a liking for that. So therefore it is like a poisonous arrow. It comes in search of you. Wherever you go, at that time there were no emails, there were no this kind of telephones were there. We don't have. And only the letters, even the Kamatahan, everything happened through letters. So everything documented. But we decided to not to have. 1 year we practice. And in Nissarana. So I also lived one year with one meal. Difficult for me because I am eating at that time. But later, after that, I imposed myself another 1 year without common decision. And because at that time I am appointing rooms for the visitors and taking care about Lukahamdro and Gabada, stores, everything. So I had a lot of things, but still I tried. But I developed some constipation. I imposed too much. But I just wanted to do it. So whatever it may be, messages are coming and hit you in your heart like an arrow, poisonous arrow. That is what you call, Facebooks, WhatsApp, email, Instagram, telephones. I think they think that is their right to call us. So now for last 5, the vibration may be there, but I don't have. For most of the time, I'm not keeping the phone. It is somewhere, battery go low. So then I don't know. Whenever I open, I can see red marks. So much of missed calls. And when I ring call back, they are busy. So I have my own excuse. But by which I wanted, I can make use it. So that's the way. All the news, information, civilization, advertisement, everything are poisonous arrows. They come and hit you. And now you see YouTube and others, how much they are using advertisements. This is the way. So that all because of tanha. All because of tanha. But you can declare, I am not with that. You have still your human rights not to entertain it. So more you get rid of them, more you free of thinking. This is the closest criteria. So if anyone, any meditation system is promoting thinking, I think it is suspicious. Mindfulness is not promoting thinking. Just accept. Whatever it may be, don't rationalize, don't go storytelling, no fabrication, just thinking, stop at that level. No continuation. So therefore we are partially go to the Nibbana. But at that time, mind feel comfortable if it is go to the theoretization. Telling Paticcasamuppada, telling Dhamma talk. All the kind of thing, that is nothing but self-aggrandization.
Master Swami also, even in Sinhala talk, you mentioned the same thing. And even here you are mentioning the same thing. And in the Sinhala talk, since there was no time, I did not bring it up. Now, what you're saying is thinking has to be stopped as much as possible, which I totally agree. But at the same time, there are instances that the suttas say, you memorize that it is not me, not mine, not myself. That is also in a way thinking. Would like to have
Acquired in 3 ways: by listening, theories. Second thing is rationalization, deductive thinking, and deductive thinking and? No, but that's another term. Anumana jnana, vipassana jnana. So that means out of listening, some of them you use as pet issues. Then you can proceed further by your deductive knowledge. In I can't remember, deductive knowledge, rationalization, and there you can keep it for longer time because you have re-dwelt upon that. And out of that, some things you can put into meditation and realize under your very nose. So there are 3, Anumana Sikha, Pachakka Siddha, Anumana Siddha, Saddhaya Siddha. 3 ways to establish knowledge. Saddhaya Siddha means that you listen. You know God is correct, God is telling, Father is correct, Father is telling, that's it. And Anumana means no. Out of that, the Father's life is failure. Why should I follow him? Theory may be correct, but I have my doubt. I am not. So my teacher may be wrong. So likewise, you can Anumana. Oh, it depends on your liking and disliking. That is Chintamaya Jnana. And the last one is Pachakka Siddha. You, whatever maybe you select, you put yourself and you verify under your verified nose. That is less than 1%. Anumana Jnana, that rationalization, deductive thinking, they are more than Pachakka Siddha, less than theoretical knowledge. But the theoretical knowledge we have enough in the Google. Anyone can access it. But the Western Google understanding may not be applicable to the Eastern. And the daytime thing will not be applicable to the morning time. So likewise, you have to select it. So therefore, out of these 3, the education system is talking about that book knowledge, theory knowledge. And I think we are fairly better today because many people are literate. But they are illiterate to their own emotion. Intelligent, emotional intelligence. That understanding their own intelligence, emotional intelligence means deductive, inferential is the word, knowledge. And that is something born with. Every people they do not have. For example, if you have inferential knowledge about the physics, you may be weak in the chemistry. You may be weak in biology. You may be weak in the history and geography. But there are different people are born with that character. So present education system do not know how to filter them. But in the practical way, we can filter them better than the classroom education. But out of that, if you put that into practice, and realization is different. So therefore, we have some kind of parallelism. That's why we can dwell upon one roof. Otherwise, we will be fighting. You are not believing what I am telling. You are always against me and all the kind of thing. No, that is your way. So therefore, all these 3, must go into Sila Samadhi Panya. 3 stages. So we must understand the early part of these 3 trainings, restraint, we are fairly successful. So we must not undermine or underestimate us. We have certain, but we have to maintenance of that is very difficult. Meanwhile, we have to see the promotion or progress. For that, the main thing is association with good friends, good role models. Because they are showing a number of shortcuts. When you have so much of options, what is ruchi, what is yutu, what is ruchi, what is haki, what is ruchi, what's ought to or not ought to do, should or shouldn't, and then what is I can do, capacity myself, and what is the thing I am doing with my hobby, like happily thing, 100% success. That's called sampajanya. Before doing, you must understand, don't force yourself because you are going to the physics class. No, you must let your body to decide which is happening. So in the monk's life, everything is exposed. And giving them, let them select. Just like in the front of a buffet diet, serve your plate. Don't criticize others' plates. Buddha says, don't look at the other this thing also. Pare sampattang na oloke sametis. That is Sikya Dhamma. Don't look at that. Mind your own plate. So likewise, when you are doing it, we have a lot of parallelism. But the thing is, when mind is coming up to that kind of a undecisive thing, we always happy to take theory. That is the crime of the learned person. If you do not know the theory, to let the meditation, let the mindfulness to do it, it is never give what you expect. Completely novelty. So that is where you become rejuvenated. You become renovate your life, reshuffle your card pack, and you feel like it is dangerous because you want to have the same hand. So no game. If the same hand is there, no game.
Swami Nohan says sometimes when a yogi who is cultivating mindfulness progresses in their practice, they start to experience certain phenomena that are not explained in the suttas. And these experiences can only be reaffirmed or validated when the yogi discusses with their colleagues, like the way we are gathered today, just discussing and sharing, and those who are more experienced passing on this knowledge and encouragement to the ones who are less experienced. So anyways, when a yogi is entering this stage of mindfulness, they might look at the suttas and say, these things, they're not explained in the suttas. The suttas just appear to be a very formal text written in a religious prose that almost seems like they're written just to preach the Dhamma. But this visceral experience that a yogi goes through, it's not described anywhere. It's not preached anywhere. It is only something it's very unique that only them are experiencing by themselves. It is not in the suttas. And so at this point, even if this yogi is ordained, if this yogi is a monk, they feel that now this is not even Buddhism. It's no longer Buddhism. I'm no longer a monk. I am just, just part of the universe. Anything that is happening, I am also happening there along with it. It is no longer Buddhism. It is just the nature of things. That's the end of my speech, Bhante.
Yeah, that is, whether you are accepting the theory and the sutta and the text, or you are rejecting, or you are going to accept later, or you are going to reject completely. Nothing happened on the earth for the first time. Everything happened. So therefore, people, those who are egotistic, they can easily reject the book and say, what I experience is the crispy one. But no, you can't write technical writing on this kind of thinking. Technical writing happens whenever many people experience the same, something common, it feels like writing. Therefore, all the thinking you can't put in because it's enormous. But 2,600 years, now when it is coming, you can't bring all the hairs, head hairs, and the body hairs, tongue, nose, and everything. So you have to imagine when you put the flesh and the veins and everything, what would happen? What will be the figure? So you have to understand it because this is something preserved like bones. Bones, usually if you throw away, even a dog will not eat. There should have some sinews or blood and fresh something to lick. So Panditas had to say, Vipassana is a white bone. No one happy. Or just a white bread. You can't eat. When you making it crispy by adding sugar and icing and all the kind, you can eat like. But that is not the cake. So that is your personality, your egotism, your individual likings and disliking. When you become mature, you understand everything you can't put into technical writing. Whatever you can put to technical writing, there should have some commonality. Otherwise, very difficult. So therefore, you can personalize it. But when you keep on practicing, you are ready to accept, choicelessly be aware. This is the text, this is the Christian text, this is the Muslim text, this is the Hindu text, this is the Buddhist. And they all are historical, sacred books. They can't give enlightenment, experience. You have to see your experience parallel which book is more explainable. More and more you become mature, you understand that you can't personalize it. With your day-to-day crispy experience, they are not that indicate they are not true. They are true. But we are comparing it with the already preserved Dhamma. So ultimately you understand nothing we can reject. Everything is explainable. That is what we call non-coercive theory. We are not fighting with each other. Try to accept rather than rejecting. So that is the maturity in meditation. When you become ascetic, you accept anything. But you know, personally your experience under your nose may not be parallel with that particular sutta. But when you keep on practicing, when you become mature, you feel, how can I adopt into that? Rather than I am adopting the sutta into my day-to-day fabrication of storytelling kind of thing. So therefore, for young children, difficult, because they are in the storytelling age. But when you are come to a certain maturity, only you can learn physics, chemistry, biology. And going further on, you understand the truth is still further. So the Buddha says, you to understand, you must come to Jnana Dasaka at the 40 to 50 age. If your faculties are mature enough, you to grasp. But during the time of the Buddha, there were some children at the age of 7. They are enlightened. But that is not the common. But Jnana Dasaka, in the Western psychology, it says, you are psychologically reborn in 50s. Then only you understand your past experience and the life, what is the life is. So therefore, many people by 50s, they are done with, they are finished. So after 50s only, it happens. That is because you must have a colossal amount of theoretical knowledge. Out of that little bit you deduce inferential knowledge. Out of that little bit you put into practice. So it is happening in a linear way, but at last you accept all the theories. Nothing you reject. You never reject Christianity. They know they are partial truth. And the Hinduism, nothing. But still, you are not fighting with them and you are not accepting totally also. That's how maturity is developed. So therefore, at the beginning, when I read Tripitaka, I went to Venerable Jnanarami, I told the Sinhala translation is horrible. Very difficult to understand. Sometimes by reading Pali itself, we can get 10-15%. But by adding Sinhala, lot of Sanskrit words. Then he says that is the way. These are scripts. These are religious the scripts, I mean, holy script. So you read second time, you read third time, fourth time. Slowly, your understanding increasing. They are sacred. So keep on reading. Then only you can come. At a glance, it is not like a comedy. It is not like a children book. So therefore, you have to associate these scripts, or holy scripts, and each and every book. If you read the Psalms in Bible, almost like Iti Uttaka Pali. The content is almost like Iti Uttaka Pali. So I met one father in England, Bromley College. So one day he was giving a talk, and his room I am occupying. So he is temporarily using a thing because we have hired that wing. So I just wanted to go and listen to, because but I told, being a person with the robe, I do not like people with look odd. And then you go to the church father and ask, when can I meet him? Then father told, no, if Bhante is happy, I will come to Bhante's room. And when we go there, I presented this, the Proverbs. And I told, you see, exactly. He says, knowledge is not a secret, Bhante. It is open for everyone. But people are happy with what they like. In the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Upanishad, are so full of good things. But the people are going to Las Vegas. They are going to carnivals. Can't tell. Otherwise, truth is not so scarce. Scarce. Very common. Not very common. It's open. Specifically, we have now Wikipedia and all the kind of, you just tap it and go for artificial intelligence. You can get anything. But it is not leading to Nibbana. That is separate issue. It is leading to knowledge. So there is no moral responsibility. But otherwise, at the beginning, what Osada is going to say, many people say what the suttas are talking, nonsense. But when you keep on reading happen because of your involvement, because of your dedication, then you understand by a number of readings, all you understand its hidden truth. So you have to be very patient, not like a comedy. Keep on reading.
Hey, Swami Mahanse. I think we might give an opportunity to our online participants if there are any.
Kumara?
Asrai, Swami Mahanse.
ගෙදර හොඳ ඉන්න හරි. මොකද? නිරංජා. කියන්නේ.
Swami Mahanse, there's two people would like raise their hands. I will allow Chaya to talk first.
Avasarai Bhante, I wanted to share an experience. It's not directly related to the sutta discussed today. Yesterday, I drove on a journey, and then we spent whole day. And when I was driving back with my family, I was feeling tired and sleepy. But when I realized this, I kind of dialed up my mindfulness to the maximum and managed to remain awake and able to concentrate on what's happening on the road, etc., and to drive safely. when my family asked whether I'm tired, I did say that yes, I do feel a little tired. I could sense that kind of upset them and made them really anxious, and they started offering me water and, do you want to stop for tea, etc. And I felt that I didn't need any of that, and I wasn't anxious about feeling tired or sleepy either. I felt that I accepted, those states of exhaustion and feeling sleepy, but with application of being aware, it was okay. It was like, yes, I'm sleepy, but fine. I'm able to, pay attention and be mindful and awake. So I wanted to mention this, Bhante, and perhaps ask for your comments or any advice about this. And also, I do realize that it might be controversial because, a person on the road driving while sleepy. So I hope nobody will complain about it here. Thank you, Bhante.
So even if you are driving, if you are not mindful, very dangerous. Even in the day-to-day activities. Yesterday whole day I was drowsy and almost feverish. And I went to the bed and accepted and gave medicine and all the kind of thing. And in a sleep, I found I am in the front seat and driver is driving sleepy. And he is completely closed his eyes. Vehicle is moving. I tapped him in a sleep, but he never get to wake up. And again, he fall drowsy into that. And I saw it is going to hit a fence. And I was thinking that things are happening very slow because he is in the driving seat and I am tapping him, but he is not awakening. So I thought that is what my mind is. Because I just wanted to be wakeful. But at that time, mindfulness is very, very double strong. I mean, booster dose. Definitely, I know my body can't tolerate that kind of lethargic nature. I just wanted to come. Everyone told, Bhante, you go and sleep. So I, of course, went there, and yesterday children came, and I was completely wanted to rest. I went there. They have gone without the final decision because otherwise I am going there. And I came into this hut. It's a heaven. So I went there resting. And meanwhile, they were pulling the tree. And I am telling something. Why didn't you go there? No, because that body says you take rest. And the message came, yes, after 1 week effort, they have pulled this thing and it is falling down. So I don't know what happened. And I was there. And till the last drop of the sunlight, we were there. And still the body is, it is not stable. Mind also not, but at that time, mindfulness, it is coming and going. Mindfulness is complaining about the mindfulness. But that is not the mindfulness in the air-conditioned room, no sounds, no mosquitoes, no flies, nothing. But everything is unstable. The mindfulness is unstable thing, never mind. You are mindful. It's a very, the unexplainable situation, only you can experience it. No one will appreciate that your effort. But that is our living. That's my life. I'm not committed to do anything. Anything I can withdraw. And that is what I earn in the whole life. And I am fully disabled in the physical way. And try to be mindful. And I can, in a dream, I see the person in the driving seat is sleepy. I am in the front seat and I try to wake him. But he is not waking. Vehicle is running. So then I saw it is leaning against the fence. And still I can't. It is not listening. So I don't know, it dropped. All of a sudden, I would have dreamt Chaya. You bloody fool, taking me into the front seat and you are sleeping.
Yes, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante. And I think as a postscript, I wanted to add this as well. By the end of that journey, I was feeling a bit proud of myself and thinking that I'm better than everybody else in the car. So it's like a nice feel for eye making also, I thought.
That is that even under the uncontrolled situation, unmindful situation, eye making. I am not that kind. I can't be sleepy. I must be exemplified life, energetic person. But the body is not there. I can feel that it's swaying. But kind of a thing, egotism at the peak. People come and say, please take rest. I don't know, what the hell? I don't mind. But the body is not supporting. The feverish situation is not supporting. But some or the other, the thread of mindfulness is continuing. I mean, little bit broken, continuing. So therefore, it's a kind of in the community. It's a different kind of experience. I think most of the mothers are experiencing that, because while raising the children, each and every child is asking the attention, but the mother is having exhausting kind of jobs. But the child climbing on the body and asking love and all the kind of thing. So they are doing it in a official manner rather than in the organic manner. So that is how they can understand the Buddha as a mother. That is, Buddha says, Amamani Buddhupiyananva. In Sinhala, is a spiritual mother. He was accommodating everything. So when you are in an organization, if you are the boss, you have to accommodate. If you are the leader in the pilgrim, you have to accommodate. But no one can feel about your bodily comfortability. But sometimes being in the group itself, you become motivated. Previous night, I gave a talk in front of Ruwanalisaya, and the stage was in the westward of the Ruwanalisaya. When I sit, I can feel huge Dagaba, and I am feverish. I came all the way from Kandy, but I went there, I gave a talk, and I felt inspired. It's a utterly pure white, such a big, huge Dagaba in front of small Dagaba, and then the stage. And I looking at it, I thought that how many people would have taken the pain to make it, and thousand people sitting, endless ground, huge sand. People are sitting, and all are the same. So I told, if I feel everyone like a relative, everyone like a blood relative, only one thing I can share is the for mindfulness. So I told everyone is like my friends, everyone is like my family members. So that is what happens. So when I mentioned that, other monk told that you are inspired by being in front of the Maha. So likewise, our feverish situation disappears when we having the parallel thoughts, living with the same kind of people. So it's a placebo effect. You get a placebo power, and that is how the mothers, they develop it. In the parturition also, they are going to so much of painful situation, but that is the only way she can become a mother. So that it is becoming a part and parcel of their motherhood. So much so that she loved the child with the cesarean operation and kind of thing. They don't develop that kind of the love because of the suffering. So Buddha took pain about ourselves, and he explained each and every step. Nothing we have to add. Whatever the suffering we have, we become nearing to the Buddha by understanding suffering, not by giving up suffering. So Chaya, don't do it again, because I will break my rest. I will get a bad dreams.
Yes, Bhante, much merit to you. Thero and Sarnai Bhante. Thank you very much.
Avasarai Bhante, for the time actually. It is a thing I pick actually discuss in the discussion time, theory and practice, Pachaka and the Chintame sort of things. And again, it is parallelism. I see the body, knowledge and mind thinking sort of thing. The way to experience actually, it is a theory is one thing, the practice is another thing, but it is not totally different sort of thing. I heard that only theory without practice is empty sort of thing. The practice without theory is a blind. We don't know where we are going. So we don't need to have balance between the practice and theory. Actually, I find that Yogavachara Upadeshanaya in Matarasri Jnanarama, page 36, and article 233, I will read. It is in Sinhala. ධර්මය ඉගෙනීම එකකි එහි ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂ අවබෝධයක් සලසා ගැනීම වෙන වැඩකි. නොපසුබට වීරයෙන් උගත් ධර්මය අනුව පිළිවෙති යෙදීම ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂ අවබෝධය සලසා දෙයි. Like this is the concept, actually the theory. Only the theory we cannot achieve. Only the practice without theory also we cannot achieve the thing. It is a sort of skill to balance this. Actually, kind of this discussion, I feel like the nature, the theory also we discuss, root causes and all that, and our experience also shared. So it is quite very nature that we are going in the, good path sort of thing. That is what my idea to express. Much merit.
Yeah, in the world, so much of people are creating thoughts. So much of people are creating ideas. Only few religions. Few of them are established. Other things are volatile. So likewise, there is a connection between the mental or theoretical part and the practice part. Some only very little practicable. They become religious. They become philosophies. And ultimately we are teaching them to the children. Then children become more mad. More because they are going to send through that linear kind of relationship. Now, there is no other way. But once you practice and realize, you understand, theory is a nonsense. And the Chintamaya Jnana nonsense. But without these steps, you can't climb up this ladder. So likewise, they are essential parts. You are disproving one by one with the help of the other one. So you are disproving but your own thing. You are not borrowing from others. So therefore you have reason to accept them. You have to reason to reject them. No one is forcing you. So therefore you become powerful. It is called empowered to accept any theory or reject any theory. That's why you become mature. So therefore we must not hesitate to tell people, this is I reject, this is I accept. That's what the discussion is. And the Buddha gave full open ticket for this kind of thing because he has nothing to hide. Though there is no the celestial secrets. Nothing. So this openness itself indicates kind of a liberated smell. So that is why we are promoting, discussion, and Vimal is a good character role. Always happy to be in the discussion. Yes?
Yes, but this is regarding that driving experience.
Yeah.
I had a similar driving experience, but can't say similar driving experience, where I was mindful when I was going on a highway. And the highway was about 110 kilometers an hour. And I was going and I was scolding the other drivers, and because they were not driving. And to see, since I was mindful, I was not having any sense of the speed. And I was going at 150, 160. Not that others were going slow. So therefore, and that's just one experience. Another experience is you don't see the signal lights. You just go. If it is clear, as signal lights are immaterial, you just keep going. So therefore, what I feel is, so long as you can awake yourself, mindfulness is good. But if you go deep into mindfulness, it may be dangerous.
Reckless. Yeah. And if you to keep mindfulness, you have to have frivolous talks. You have to talk.
Definitely.
So usually I sit in the front and just talk with the driver. All of a sudden I fall into sleep. I know that is the provocation for the driver to get into sleep. Soon I get up, I try to talk something nonsense. So likewise to that, just frivolous talks, just to talk about something happening. So that's how he become sensitive, responsible. So therefore, the driving is completely a bad thing. Vehicles are completely bad thing. But if you have to entertain, to end up without any kind of mishap, you have to keep on practicing the bad elements in our life to maintain mindfulness. No one will accept the mindfulness need frivolous talks. It needs fancies, storytelling, fabrications, and then only you can keep other person alive. You also can be. So therefore, that is how the storytelling is a very big aspect in each and every culture. It brings not a single thing, a total set phenomena, and that become a tradition. And children are very happy for that. And elderly people, they know how to fabricate talks. And one person, he found that the similarities in Jataka stories and Fable ki Upama Katha, how the Aesop, and there are some, and Russian, all are the same. They found exactly the same. They see animal characteristics, and then Panchatantra Katha, the Sanskrit, but everything is talking about something. That's to keep your mindfulness awake. The Krishnamurti says, sometimes you have to read comedies, cartoons. So he always read them, just to keep because he is a highly person. People are coming and talking about the top grade thing, but he is talking about the third grade novels. And that is how he keep, because how the people are living. So it is not utterly poisonous, but irrational. That is how mindfulness is progressing. So therefore, you must not fall into a trap or a rut. So that is what wrong in the Theravada tradition. So we are also in Theravada tradition. We try to keep it open. And some people are appreciating it, some people are not. We don't care, we don't listen to traffic signs. If the rain is okay, we go. But ultimately, maybe we are too fast. We are maybe going in the 150 rate, but can't help, because it's a short period we have to drive through. So it is happening. I feel this. I feel this. The high speed. I feel this high speed. Okay, now we have to finish it. If anyone is not putting the red light and the traffic signs.
Just
Say
nobody,
some.
Bhante.
Yeah. Was there
Yes.
anything from Kalu Hamduru?
No, that would be all for today, Swami Nohanse.
Good.
Say Swami Nohanse, dear venerables in Nissarana, Vanaya, Katukaliawa, and on Zoom. So these merits that we have accrued listening and sharing the Dhamma today, would like to extend them to our teachers, our parents, our relatives, all beings, big or small, gross or subtle, far or near, visible and invisible. May all celestial beings, all devas, protect the Dhamma exposition and the Buddha Sasana for a long time. And may the seeds of Dhamma that we have received grow, producing path and producing phala. It's called phala and magga, and fruition of nibbana. I invite everyone to join in the recitation of the traditional Pali verses for the sharing of merits.